Hello y'all, and welcome to another Transformer review. Today we're going to be reviewing, me and my son, we're going to be reviewing Titanium Transformers.
Hi everyone.
We only have 3 of them, but I just want to show y'all looks can be deceiving. These are that you'll see what I mean as the transformation. It could have been done a lot better.
But, well, for those of you who don't know what the Titanium Transformers are, they're figures that are made out of die-cast metal, and some of them look great, but most of them just look like better design. Now, like I said, some of it holds up okay, and then some of it doesn't. In vehicle modes, they look pretty good. It's when you start getting off the transforming them and the transformation where you see they kind of fall apart. The quality's not there. The thought throughfulness of making these, it's kind of like they just threw something together, and this is the outcome of what you have when you throw something together. And they went like crazy with die-cast metal. Some of them have less die-cast, but some of them have a lot of die-cast metal on the whole toy itself, which is not a good idea.
Now see, in G1 there was a better balance between die-cast and plastic, where one didn't override the other one, and it was a pretty good balance. Here we have 3 Transformers that have over 90% die-cast. Some of it is plastic, but not a lot.
And what we have here is Scourge and 2 of these War Within figures, Megatron and Optimus Prime.
So we're going to put 2 of them aside, and we will be transforming Scourge first. So
should we talk about the vehicle modes first?
Sure, we can talk about the vehicle modes. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so here's Scourge in
Cybertronian warship design,
and it looks really cool. Now, I will have to mention this is incomplete. The only thing he's missing is the stand that has his name and the Decepticon symbol. But I have part of it. This is the only one that I have. I don't have the stand that goes with this. And I don't know if Optimus and Megatron come with their stands, because I'm gonna say these here was in a 2-pack without the stands, or I don't know if they still came with a stand, but
we're going to go ahead and put them to the side, and we're going to get on with Scourge. Now, Scourge, he looks good in his alt mode. Now, to transform them, you're going to take the wings here and you're going to separate it.
From these tabs to these holes.
And we're going to get the other one off. There we go.
And it also reveals some painted details here.
Right, painted details. You're going to take his leg,
rotate it around, and flip up his feet.
and you're going to do it on this one. Rotate it around. Now, that's one of the problems right there. That's one of the problems why there has to be a good balance between plastic and die cast.
Then you flip up his head.
Yes, then you flip up his head.
And
I can see that. Like that.
And you're done.
And pretty much, let me get him situated here. Oh, that dude right there. Okay, let's see here. I'm not sure how well his head sculpt's coming in. Okay. Okay, you still see it. Alright, good. Now, the problem with this is there's a good bit of die cast on him, definitely in the legs. Down here, this is die cast. This is plastic.
And the chest is made out of die cast metal.
The chest right here is made out of die cast metal. Now, he looks good. The problem is that his arm is pretty limpy. You barely press on it and it just goes down. The weight is in his feet. And you have to be very careful how you articulate him, because it'll just fall right out of the socket. Because there's so much weight down here at the bottom. As far as Scourge, he looks pretty good. The bad thing is, like I said, there's a lot of weight down here in his legs where it's very easy, not meaning to, where it will just pop off if you're not careful. So that makes articulation kind of limited.
And for his articulation,
there he goes. Okay.
For his articulation, head doesn't do anything except the transformation joint there. And you can position the wings however you want on this joint and this joint. He can rotate at the arms on a soft ratchet, move in and out on a soft ratchet, and his elbows only bend about here. I mean, they can bend back, but
not that far back. That's a little bit, whoa. But it's just loose.
And his wrist does move, but it's very, very
tight.
Tight
And limited. Because it feels like if you go too much with it, you're going to snap something in there.
And for his legs, they do move up and down on a soft ratchet here, and they also do move it in and out, but if you want to do that, you will have to rotate it around here, then rotate his knee so that way they can move in and out. And
that just looks weird. That's not the way it should be when you raise up something that high. It's like I said. Now I love the Decepticon logo right there on his arm. That is a good touch. His face sculpt looks good. Like I said, where you start running into problems is these legs right here. Even when you try and go into transformation, one of these will pop off from the socket because there's just so much weight there. There's not enough balance in between the plastic and the die cast.
And his knees bend on a soft ratchet and also swivel, but this one here is like really squeaky. And ratchet at the feet. And that's it.
Ratchet at the feet.
And he doesn't come with any accessories. The only accessory that he has is the stand, if I have it. But this is all I have for the stand.
So we're going to put him off in the background and we're going to get on to something else. Now the next one is Megatron.
From the War Within comics design.
Now this one here has its own issues too. There is die cast definitely in the feet. In the legs is nothing but die cast. And there's a certain little part of his chest that's die cast too. The rest is plastic. And you see how floppy he looks? I mean, it's just, there's so much weight. It's just very hard. Even when you go to try and tab this in, it don't tab in that good because that's metal on metal, and even a tab won't tab in that well to hold his legs together. So the transformer, you're going to pull out his legs, pull down the feet, and it's even kind of hard to get him to stand. You're going to take these flaps, you're going to pull them down by his side. Okay.
Then you also want to take this piece here and remove it from these tabs to these holes. Then you want to untab these, which will become his arms. Bring them down. Then take the upper body here and rotate it around. Then take this gun here and flip it up. Then tap these in. Oh, and these are on ball joints. And they're really
Squeaky.
Squeaky. Then come to the back here and flip down his elbows. And
let's see.
You're done. Oh,
Let me see something right quick. Let's see this. Okay, go ahead.
you're done. He also has this clip here, but I have no idea what this is for.
Now, the way it's shown is the cannon comes apart, and you can hold this as a gun, and then this part right here will be a shield. If I can get it to tab in. Nope, I missed it. Call to see if you can tap that again. It may not tab in that well, I'm not sure. Okay.
It does tab in, but it's at an angle because of this piece. And you can also tap in the gun here, but again, it's also at an angle. And be careful not to knock this out, because it's not the most secure in those holes on his elbows.
Now, as far as Megatron, he looks good. The problem is when you go to try and move him, you have to be very careful, because he will fall apart in some spots. There is like that, but you gotta be careful when you try and articulate them.
And for his articulation, and see what I mean? I'm gonna go ahead and remove his shield and his gun, so that way they don't have to keep knocking out. For his articulation, I will have to move this out of the way. Head is... It is on a swivel, but it's really...
It's very tight.
Arms can rotate on a soft ratchet.
Easily. But see, here's one of the problems trying to get his arm to rotate. It has to fit in this little peg right here in the side. So if you get too crazy, just try and it'll come right off. Because these pegs are not the most secure. Wait, there we go again. Just to try and get his arm to rotate around. It's just, it could have been designed way better, but...
Elbows can bend, and they can also rotate. And I don't know if his hand... Oh, they do. His hands do swivel. He does have a
a very tight waist.
But I ain't gonna move it.
And that's the problem with some of this is if you go to put too much strain on it, I would not be surprised if you snap it right in half.
And these side skirts do move. Oh, and if I zoom in here, he even has some painted in hip missiles here. Ratchet at the legs, which is very soft. Soft ratchet in and out.
Now let's fold this up. Pull that all the way up. No. Let's see here. I am just curious. Yep. You see how heavy that is? Whoops. There's so much die cast on the leg, it just falls. It just falls. There's no in between because his leg is so heavy. It just falls. That's what I was thinking it would do.
And these sliders here don't lock in anywhere.
Yeah.
So other times when you're like playing around with him, one of these will start to collapse like that.
Yeah. Is there can you do a knee articulation like
Well,
let's see here. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
He can.
Ratchet at the knees, and they can also swivel on a ratchet, and his feet does move up and down, and that's it.
He's a good looking design of a Megatron. He's got a couple of flaws, which is in here. And in here, there's not enough balance between plastic and die cast in here. And his shins and stuff like that is so heavy. But he does make a good representation. I mean, it does look good, but it's not without his flaws. And I have to say that we're fixing to come to the worst one. There we go. It fell. That's alright. We're just going to put it to the side.
And that is...
Now we're going to get off to the worst one, and you'll see why. This one has many issues.
And this is War Within Optimus Prime.
Okay. Now, it would not surprise me if this thing falls apart in my transformation. We'll see. We're going to take his gun off.
First, his vehicle commode. His vehicle commode is a Cybertronian truck. And it does look really cool. But I can't say the same about the robot mode.
Now, the truck, to me, the truck looks good, but the truck has its own issues. This part won't stay pegged.
That part.
This, now did these tab in somewhere?
These do tab in, okay, but they're not really secured in.
Okay. Okay. Let's see.
So, to get him transformed, hopefully he won't fall apart.
Right.
You want to take his gun out. Then you want to untab these and bring them out. And they also tab into well, they only tab into these holes and these pegs. Then you want to swing them out.
There we go.
Then come to the back here and extend it. Then take what will become his feet, flip these down, and bring these up, and take his toes here and flip them out. Separate his legs.
Yeah. The floppiness just happened. Y'all check this out.
There's a lot of die casts here on the arms. But the only part that is plastic is the joints here. That's the only plastic part. The rest of it is die cast. And another part that is plastic is this red here, because this red here is all painted, which is die cast metal, but this red here is plastic. So you just bring down the chest and rotate it around, and it doesn't lock in anywhere. And the arms will tab into these blue tabs into these holes here. Then take these here and rotate them. Well, but before you do that, take these here, untap them from this hole and that peg. And rotate his elbows around and slide out his hands using these sliders from the bottom. Then rotate these around so that the yellow paint is facing. Then take this cockpit here, bring it down, and as you do that, it will bring his head up about to here. Then you just want to take it and bring it all the way up, and you're done.
The problem with Optimus Prime is basically the arms right here. If you get rough with them, and at least a little bit, it will come smooth off of the socket. And that's both of them. Because this is just plastic. This is die cast, and this is where all the weight's going. Real close to the hinge. It does tab into place. And another bad thing is the chest. This upper part does not tab in anywhere. So you have to be very careful how much tension you put on these arms. As a matter of fact, if I'm right, you have a problem just trying to hold his gun. Yeah, just trying to hold his gun, see if we can get that gun in. I think what somebody else had to do one time is pop the arm off just to get the gun in. Yeah, I think it's pretty much...
I'm gonna go ahead and remove his arm.
Yeah, just to get the gun in, you gotta take his whole arm off. Help you out here. I'll hold it up.
And sometimes when you're trying to...
Okay, let's see here.
Sometimes when you're trying to hold his gun in his hand, be careful not to break that off.
Yeah, there it is, right there. It's very tough. Okay, there's his arm, there's his gun. Now you have to put it back on Optimus Prime.
Sometimes when you're trying to hold his gun in his hands will start to slide back in.
But I have seen other complaints on this. And it's not just us. There's been other ones who said that, you know, you literally have to take his arm off just to put the gun in. I have read that and I have seen that. So, I mean, we're not the only ones as far as these titanium series. Like I said, it's just the balance is not there between the die cast and the plastic, and the way some of the engineering is done, it will never work right.
And for articulation, head is on a tight swivel. Arms can rotate, and they do move in and out on a ratchet, but it gets hindered by these here. Bicep swivel, elbow.
Just barely trying to do the bicep swivel, it automatically unpegs. Just by putting a little bit of pressure on it.
And if you want to, his upper torso here does move due to the transformation. And his legs do move forward and back, but it gets hindered by these, yeah, these and these here. And no, these do not flip up and these don't flip up.
Because it's die cast and this is all one mold.
And they're a little limited when you're moving them in and out. Thigh swivel. Knee only bends about that far. And he does have some feet that move due to the transformation. And that's it.
Now, his mode is okay. Look, there he goes right there. There's so much weight right there. You barely touch him, and that's it. He just wants to collapse in on himself. So we're going to put him right there. We're going to see if we can try and get some of these guys in some good poses. Let's see here. Okay, now we're going to take Megatron. We're going to put him.
And like I said, I don't know if these are a 2-pack or if these just came in their own individual packages. So I don't know if these come with stands.
Everybody had no shield on him. And that's for Scourge. To me, I think Scourge holds up the best. The part where I see his flaw is right here, and transformation, and this joint right here, which is real loose. The rest of it pretty much holds together pretty well. He's a disaster to transform. He's got a bunch of issues. You barely put pressure on the wrong spot and it will pop off. A lot of it has to do with his arm joints in here. As far as Optimus Prime, the way he looks, I don't have a problem with the way he looks. He looks good. Megatron. His problems is when you go to transform him, these side plastic panels want to pop off whenever you try and move his arms, because the ball joint swivel and the way that it's angled. A lot of these, all three of these figures have a lot of die cast in them. Now, for G1, in my experience, there was always a perfect balance between die cast and plastic that made sense, and it didn't put too much stress on one or the other one. These here, they added way too much metal in them and not enough plastic that in different spots where they should have been. To me, it's kind of like they just kind of thrown it together. The thought process wasn't really there when they were just making it.
And titanium figures came out in like 2006.
Is that, I don't know when they come out. Is that when they come out? I'm not sure. Okay.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
And 2006 was like the mid-2000s.
In 2006, it was a ways back. I mean, you know, it wasn't yesterday. But Colton, what do you think about them?
They're just well, some of these look great, but some of them, like Optimus here just look terrible.
Well, no, not that. You know, the transformation is terrible. The transformation, but as far as the robot modes and stuff like that, the way they're sculpted and everything, I mean, they do look pretty good. But it's the legs that has 90%. Let's see. I'd say 80 to 85% of diecast is in every single one of their legs, and then the rest is in the chest parts.
Oh, one more thing about Optimus. Just like Megatron, the sliders where his legs slide up and down don't lock in anywhere. And also, War Within Optimus and War Within Megatron both have a third-party company called Spark Toys, and those figures look way better than these here.
As far as the review, and like I said, I didn't want to go off into any bios, not until I have a good Optimus Prime, which is on the way, and a good Megatron, and for the rest of it. So I just kind of wanted to, my son, we wanted to go and put these up here so we can show y'all the titanium Transformers. We only have 3 of them, but we wanted to show y'all what it's like to have way too much metal into a Transformer that complicates transformation from one mode to the other, and then you also sacrifice some of the articulation too, as far as trying to get it to move and articulate the way you want it to. So that's about it as far as this review, and that's it. Colton, get us on out of here, and we will talk to y'all later.
If you like this video, give us a like, comment, and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.